My best. Okay, good afternoon and many thanks for this opportunity to share my research, particularly on Chinese Star Mosque in Malaysia and Indonesia. In 2013, about 10 years ago, I attended the Chinese New Year celebration at the Al Sahara Mosque in Seremban, a small town in Malaysia. The event is a lively one with a range of entertainment and performance, including Chinese lion dance. Last year, I attended a similar event at the same mosque. However, the scheduled lion dance was cancelled at the last minute. There are heated debates over whether the lion dance is permissible under Islamic teachings and whether it should be or can be performed within the mosque compound. Some even go further, saying that the Chinese New Year celebrations inside the mosque are haram or against Islamic teaching. So this is a quick overview of my presentation, but just give you some brief information for those who are not familiar with Malaysia and Indonesia. Both Malaysia and Indonesia are Muslim majority countries with sizable Chinese minorities, mostly non-Muslim. Chinese Muslims are minority in both countries, within only like 1 to 3% of any Chinese Muslim in both countries, and most of them are converted to Islam. In the past, those who converted to Islam were assumed to have lost their Chineseness and mostly assimilated into the local majorities. Recently, however, Chinese Muslims in Malaysia and Indonesia have increasingly expressed their cultural identities, challenging the perceived incompatibility between Islam and Chineseness in both countries through initiatives such as building Chinese Star Mosques, which is the topic of my presentation today. So this is one of the example of Chinese Star Mosques. I'll come to this later. Since year 2000, more than 20 new Chinese Star Mosques has been constructed in Malaysia and also Indonesia. Most of these completed newly quite unique completed mosques adopt architecture of all mosques in China, yet be configured within local context of Malaysia and Indonesia. Such mosques play a crucial role in manifesting Chinese Muslim cultural identity, upholding the universality of Islamic principles and promoting religious tourism. So they are like tourist spot some way. The architectural design of these mosques are form of intentional hybridities, where elements of Chinese and Islam are strategically combined to claim that they can be the Chinese way of being Muslim in Malaysia and Indonesia. However, a closer examination of the activities conducted in the mosque reveal there are aspects of identity contestation, where Chinese Muslims from different backgrounds negotiate their identities not only between Islamic and Chinese identities, but also amongst various Islamic and Chinese traditions. On one hand, these mosques are inclusive space, where Muslim and non-Muslim, Chinese and non-Chinese come together. Nevertheless, the inclusivity has its limitation, especially in the context of Malaysia, where state religious authorities and popular online preachers can determine or monitor whether what events are permissible or not inside the mosque. So, early this year in Malaysia, following an enormous online pressure from a Salafi-leaning Chinese preacher, many Chinese New Year celebrations organized by the religious authorities have cancelled the lion dance performance. Some religious authorities have even prohibited Chinese New Year celebration and mooncake festival celebration within the mosque compound. So based on online and offline ethnographic and interviews, seeing such mosques as both sites on inclusive Islam, my paper examines first how Chinese Muslim organizations promote Islam as inclusive religion through placemaking and mosque activities, and second, on various debates surrounding whether Chinese New Year celebration and lion dance are allowed or not allowed within the mosque compound. So I'm playing with the word like the site, refer to architectural designs, and by the site, I refer to the social activities and spatial arrangement in the mosque. Symbolically, such places are sites where Chinese Muslim cultural identities are equally real and visible. Practically, such places are sites where Chinese Muslim practice and perform their identities with no lack of debate on what activities are permitted and what are not. So in other words, these mosques are places where identities are constructed, contested, and negotiated. So I can, by using this concept of size and sight, combine both material and also spatial approach to understand the placemaking and also urban encounter. By looking into actual practices in urban encounters, which including coexistence but also tensions. Um, Due to the time limit, I will focus my presentation on Malaysia instead of, with some reference to Indonesia. Just let me start by introduce a few Chinese style mosques in both countries. This is Indonesia, Surabaya. Sorry, the Surabaya Jungle Mosque is one of the kind of the first Chinese style mosque in post-Suharto Indonesia, completed in year 2002. This mosque was established by BT, Indonesian Chinese Muslim Association. So as you can see, the mosque architecture refer or make reference to the old mosque in China, Yujian Mosque in Beijing. And after that, you have similar mosques have been built across different parts of Indonesia, from Makassar, Java to Sumatra. So now we go to Malaysia. The Jupli Perak Sultan Ismail Petra Mosque in Kelantan, or best known as Beijing Mosque, completed in 2009. It's kind of the first Chinese style mosque in post-independent Malaysia. Like the Surabaya Jungle Mosque, the architecture of the mosque also inspired by the New Mosque in Beijing. That's why it's been called New Beijing Mosque. The former Chief Minister of Kelantan and spiritual leader of the Islamic Party past, Dr. Ruling Aziz, is one of the key figures behind the establishment of this Kelantan Beijing Mosque. As he told me, conversion to Islam does not mean you have to abandon your culture. This mosque is to show that Islam is a universal religion for all ethnic groups. And the successful of this mosque has inspired the creation of other Chinese mosques in other cities in Malaysia, in Surabaya, Ipoh, and Melaka. So reflecting the demand of cultural diversity within the Islamic framework. And the latest one is the Chinese Muslim Mosque in Klang, near Kuala Lumpur. I think it's completed last year, and this makes reference to the old mosque in Shia, the Great Mosque in Shia. So these are the exterior design, and there's some interior within inside the mosque. As you can see, there's Arabic script, of course, with Malay and also Chinese wordings in the mosque. And then many different activities have happened. You have Chinese Islamic calligraphy, the Chinese halal noodles, and also Chinese martial art inside the mosque compound. Okay, now let me go to the debate on whether Chinese New Year celebrations among the Chinese Muslims. Many Chinese Muslim leaders defend the Chinese New Year celebrations by differentiating between Chinese culture tradition from religious rituals. So they're saying that Chinese New Year is just not haram because it's just a cultural traditions, not necessarily including religious rituals. In Malaysia, the Malaysian Chinese Muslim Association, (MACMA), with the endorsement of religious authorities or departments, has been running Chinese New Year celebration open house, sometimes even inside the mosque. So maybe I can show a clip of video. What is like that? I think most of you know. Oh. No, to show the video. This is 10 years ago it's not in a mosque in the school, but run by the Chinese Muslim Association. So you have Chinese elements, but with some Islamic things inside it. What I want to say, I mentioned this before about the Chinese style mosque in Seremban and also in Ipoh. They also run Chinese New Year celebrations. They have been running this for many years until with live dance performance until last year. Of course, certainly there are competing viewpoints about Chinese New Year celebrations. A few years ago, controversial Chinese Muslim convert preachers, Salafi-leaning preachers, suggested that lion dance performance should be avoided during Chinese New Year celebration, arguing that these practices although might not be strictly speaking religious, but contain superstitious elements that go against Islamic traditions. And early last year, on his social media accounts, Firdaus Wong launched a serious online attack on lion dance performance that involving Muslim participants. He even criticized the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, of performing an eye-dotting ceremony during a lion dance performance, which he described as containing elements of superstitions. He and other two Chinese Muslim influencers further criticized MACMA, the Malaysian Chinese Muslim Association, and the religious department for including lion dance in the Chinese New Year celebrations. They questioned the right religious authority for endorsing shirk, idol worship, and also superstitions. In the end, the organizer cancelled the lion dance performance. The Selangor Religious Department had approved the organization of Chinese New Year celebration at the Chinese Town Mosque in Klang, the mosque I showed before. So they have removed the Chinese New Year celebration to other venues outside of the mosque. So this incident showed that how online intolerant features or online intolerant activism has a real impact on offline culture and religious practices, undermining multicultural coexistence in countries such as Malaysia. Of course, the Malaysian Chinese Muslim Association President Taufik Yap refuted Firdaus Wong's claims. He stressed that lion dance performance is just a form of artistic expression, is more a cultural tradition rather than having any religious connotations. He said he will communicate this view to the religious authority, hoping that they will issue a fatwa or religious opinion that allowing lion dance performance in the next year, not next year, actually this year. I mean, the Chinese New Year will be next month, so we will see whether there will be performance of lion dance in the Chinese New Year celebration this year. You will see. Okay, now let me briefly conclude. As I have described, Chinese Town Mosques are both sites and sites manifesting a kind of inclusive Islam, yet with certain limitations. In some way, some Muslims endorse building Chinese Town Mosques, and it just only involves architectural manifestation of Islamic worship place. Yet, when it comes to actual practices such as Chinese New Year celebrations, lion dance, and other performances, there are heated debates, as some believe such practice might involve ritual that contradict Islamic teaching. The architecture of the mosque is clearly a site in where they have been built to being seen by public as a manifestation of Chinese Muslim cultural identity and a clear statement that Islam is a universal religion. The mosque has been also been promoted as a sightseeing place where tourists frequently visit and take photos. Yet such mosques are also sites, physical place where different Islamic thought and practices are contested, where Muslims of different religious affiliations competing each other. They are space allowing multicultural encounter, characterized by coexistence, yet not without tensions. Moreover, in more recent years, online social media activism by intolerant preachers and activists has gained more influence, which has a negative impact on offline multicultural and multi-religious coexistence. With this, I'll end my presentation. Thank you.